Greetings to all. As the slide names it, it's identifying the right people for the right tasks. We called it as art and articulation. This is Dr. Sushil Jayakrishnan, postdoctoral research fellow from the University of Pretoria, Hatfield campus, South Africa. I'm a psychometrist, soft skills tuner, research consultant, and a career advisor. Now let's get into the topic. In this era, it is actually important for one and all to understand the effects and consequences of choosing a wrong career. The course that you choose makes you fumble on choosing a career, ending up in becoming a bad hire or a bad employee. So while choosing a career, it is highly important to know what we want from the offering and what we do not want. A career that has been chosen without the list of pros and cons may highly affect one's routine and subsequently his or her life. Hence, we need to chart down a list that shows how can a right career help prosper in our work life and also assist in fulfilling our desires. When it comes to choosing a career, many students are completely clueless as to what they should pursue. While there are many who do deliberate on how to choose a career and what course to pursue, but more often than not, they end being affected by the opinion of peers and family members, and therefore are never able to make a rational, apt decision. So, what happens to that when they choose a wrong course? They lack the ability to understand the concepts. They fare well in other extracurricular activities and perform poor in tests, thus leading to a rise in arrear and increase in backlogs. They doesn't love even a single subject. Even if they love a subject, then his interest could be channelized to that specific subject, which could be linked to the other subjects of the course. He might be panicked and stressed throughout the course, leading to lack of sleep at times and frequent complaining. He feels an emergence of a low self-esteem amidst his peers, friends, and thinks of himself as a low self-confident personality. His inability to adapt to the surrounding is as a result of his confidence over the wrong course. His inability to choose a career is the biggest outcome of his selection of a course. He might lack interest in taking responsibilities and shouldering them to accomplish a given task. Later, he might be worried about being a survivor amidst the fittest. When it comes to graduates, everyone must agree that it is completely natural that one makes a difficult choice. At such a nascent stage, a student tends to make the wrong choice because he or she is completely clueless about what they want to pursue. Most of them, at that scenario, tend to influence their decisions by giving way to their peers or family. One cannot seem to make a rational decision at that given point of time. Whereas, on the other hand, experienced hires or lateral hires face the same problem too. Since some of us may not have a great start, we need to row around in the same boat because the choice at the time of graduation was a weak one. And for some others, although you may have made an excellent choice at the start, soon you may begin to realize that you are stuck in the same industry for a long time and that you are now unable to explore your other interests. If one has failed to understand the interests and skill sets within oneself, it is quite a task to choose a suitable job, simply because only when you appreciate your talent and skills that you seem to be good at, only then will you be able to suit them with the available job duties in the market. And the after effects of choosing such a wrong career can lead to a lack of work satisfaction, poor performance, anxiety and stress, and a social disregard, claiming you to be irresponsible and then becoming a rolling stone when you shift from one job to another. The employee underperforms in spite of intense training. This could be the result of one's interest in the course he chose or the career he chose. He or she repeats the mistakes to the lack of job understanding. Due to the lack of passion, he or she fails to commit the job on time, being late to work and submissions, fails to accept the mistake, and also lacks interest to learn from such mistakes. Complains on the employer and the co-worker's inabilities that he or she gets vexed, thus claims them to be the fact for his or her underperformance. And all these accumulates, making the entire team suffer, and thus the project fails to satisfy the client requirements. So, do we have to choose a wrong employee now? Because these are the after effects of it. So, what are the 7 ways to identify the wrong decisions? Meaning, choosing a wrong course or a career or a bad hiring. One such person makes excuses when they fail in test or delays the submission of assignments or projects. One such makes excuses during the job offers. One such also makes excuses for delay in submitting projects before deadlines. They makes delay in accepting roles or responsibilities or when setting up interviews. He or she is focused on the benefits and compensations before taking up a course, a career, or an offer. He or she shows up late during any events, interviews, or project meetings. He or she cancels the schedule or asks for rescheduling to do a specific assessment or test, to appear for an interview, or to present a project idea. The person doesn't prepare well in advance to know about the session, to know about the company, or to know about the job or project assigned, which is well evident from the interview answers they present. He or she doesn't fare well in what they deliver during tests, interviews, or at a client meeting, because that's the lack of knowledge. So based on the survey and statistics, I'm trying to put up a few points here. In the event that you take an employee with a yearly pay of $80,000, the expense to the employer would be as high as $24,000. This might not seem like a lot to a business, but if you are a small business and have a small budget, this amounts to a lot of wasted money that can hurt your bottom line. However, it is not just the money that you will lose. For a standard work week, that translates to almost a full wasted day that could have been spent on actual work. However, some reports put the average cost of a bad hire much higher. This means that if you spend money on an employee who turns out to be a bad hire, you can waste up to $240,000 in total costs. That's a significant amount of money, with 74% of the employers stating they hired the wrong person for the job. So what do you think could be a possible solution? It is always better to know the characteristics of a person before choosing the course, career, or to send the call letters for an interview. Let's first understand the classification of the people and the classification of tasks under which all the professions can be assigned to. So these are the types of people broadly classified under these 4 categories. Solitary people are self-reliant, takes initiative on his or own, may be seen as either quiet or arrogant, outsider as an extreme, works in own way, can socialize but sometimes shy, detached and purposeful, makes up own mind, does not make small talk. They don't talk much. Yeah. Gregarious types are those who fits in, not necessarily be a leader, would seek company, hates to be alone, loyal and provides support, easily persuaded by a group out of need to accept, changes behavior to fit in, resolves differences between others, participative, enjoys making decisions with others. The assertive types are aggressive, may be dominant or stubborn too, seen as pushy, may talk loudly, determined, sometimes risk taking, gets what he or she wants, may be seen as a show off, but also gains respect, may lose sight of how people are affected, takes responsibility. And the last type, known as the passive type, those people keeps matters to himself or herself, gives way rather than argue, easy to get on with, often good team member, accommodating and not easily annoyed, may avoid saying what is on his or her mind, avoids confrontation, tries hard to please, cooperative, respectful, and helpful. When we classify the different types of tasks, they should come under any of the listed categories. Imaginative ones are sensitive, aware of people's feelings, emotional and often expressive, makes decisions with heart rather than head. They are easily affected and hurt by criticism, spends too much time on small things, often discouraged and frustrated, but also intuitive and creative, responsive to feelings. The factual type people visualizes things logically, usually are composed and has feet on the ground, likes orderly structured behavior, not easily distracted, does things in a controlled way, objective, analytical, may subtle issues that bothers others, likes information and facts. The spontaneous ones are lively and impulsive, likes change and situation which are different and fast moving, often finds it difficult to stick on one thing, finds difficulty to finish what he or she had started, amusing and enthusiastic. His or her excitement can infect others, seen as lacking depth for being a rolling stone, quits organization though there are good benefits. The deliberate ones are calm, stable, and dependable, patient in waiting for things to take their own time, composed, no emotional turmoils over events, takes things as they come, could appear dull or unresponsive, predictable, copes with pressure, gets things done in an orderly way, the type who says, I told you so. So, based on the people and tasks, we can prepare a matrix and then evolve the roles. There are 16 such roles which implements all the jobs existing across the globe. So it depends upon the weightage of the characteristics of a person and his interest over a task that makes him define who he is based on these 8 natures. They are the director, the opportunist, the coach, crusader, a completer, associate, confident, colleague, arranger, advisor, designer, idealist, researcher, implementer, specialist, and a wanderer. So, in order to know what sort of a person he is and what sort of a characteristic he has, and to make him choose the right career or a course or the right job, then he must answer to the 40 questions in 8 minutes. There's no time to think. But if he knows him well, then he would be able to answer it in 5 minutes. But we give him time to answer it in 8 minutes, thinking of over a scenario to every question that has been posted. In this slide, I'm just putting up only 6 out of 40 questions as a sample. And they will be rated from 1 to 10. 1 being strongly true, and 1 being strongly untrue, and 10 being strongly true. The questionnaire could be accessed to the given link in the next slide as well, be put up in the description of my YouTube video. So let's spend 10 minutes to choose the right course or a right career or to hire a right employee. This is the question and it will be placed in the description. Thank you for watching my video. This description of my video on how to choose a course, a career, or to choose the right employee for a job, which I claimed as an ardent articulation of a right resource, was well analyzed by considering 400 such people, based on which a matrix in the form of an Excel sheet was prepared. And I'll show you a glimpse of how it calculates and shows. The Google document here, when you click, you will have the questions along with some details that will be providing, and I'll be able to address them if you're actually interested on it. So this is the actual question. The list of questions are from 1 to 40. And to make you people understand how it evaluates or what it does shows, I have allocated certain range of values for now. But this is not the way you'll be answering. You'll have to read the questions carefully and then answer it accordingly by considering a scenario for all the questions. So when I've answered these questions, when I say that it is 8, then 8 means it has to be satisfactorily true. So once you have answered to all the questions, then my Excel sheet will calculate the role for you, which means you are a specialist. When you are a specialist, then you have to be an expert in a profession. And what sort of an expert it is? It is going to be a right type of a job, which I'll suggest once you have answered to these questions. I hope this will tell you how to choose your job, your career, or hiring a right employee for the course. Thank you. If you have liked this video, drop in your comments, your suggestions, your criticisms, and then try to share it with your friends so that they can be beneficiary out of this sheet. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy.